The crowd erupted as Naomi Ellis stood trembling before the packed courtroom, her voice finally breaking through after months of being silenced. When Officer Landon Holt lifted my skirt in Wilburn Park, she said clearly, he thought I was just another black woman he could humiliate without consequence. The courtroom fell silent. Naomi's eyes met those of the men who had tried to crush her voice. What they never expected, she continued, was that I would fight back and that fighting back would cost me everything I love. If she had known that calling her father would ignite a legal firestorm that nearly consumed them both, perhaps she would have hesitated. But she hadn't, and now there was no going back. It was a Sunday in early spring, and Wilburn Park was in full bloom. Naomi, 28, a tenured constitutional law professor at Marquette, often found solace on a worn wooden bench in the park's southeast corner. She sat, as she always did, red pen in hand, poring over essays from her second-year class. A spring breeze tugged at the dogwood blossoms overhead, scattering petals across her papers. She barely noticed the police cruiser that rolled up until two officers stepped out. "Ma'am, we need a word," said Officer Holt, his fingers grazing the holster at his side. His partner, Officer Brandon Keene, flanked her from the rear, subtly cutting off her exit path. "We got a call about suspicious activity," Holt said, "and you match the description." Naomi blinked. "What description?" Keene smirked. "Black female, mid to late 20s. That you?" Naomi felt the familiar wave of indignation surge through her. "I'm grading midterms," she said calmly. "I'm a law professor." "Stand up," Holt said, ignoring her explanation. "We need to check you for weapons and contraband." Around them, joggers slowed. Parents glanced over from the playground. Naomi stood slowly, trying not to appear alarmed. She clutched her satchel tightly. Then it happened. Officer Holt circled behind her and used his baton to lift the back of her skirt slowly, deliberately, exposing her underwear to the open park. "Just being thorough," he muttered. Keene snorted. "Nice lace." Naomi froze, white-hot shame pulsing through her veins as people gawked, some averting their eyes, others recording with shaking hands. "This is a Fourth Amendment violation," she said, her voice steady despite the humiliation. "You have no probable cause, and this is not a lawful search." "Oh, we've got a lawyer on our hands," Holt sneered. "Always the mouthy ones." Then he grabbed her wrist. "Hands behind your back. You're interfering with an investigation." The metal bit her skin as cuffs clamped down. People watched, horrified. Keene barked at bystanders to stop recording. Naomi looked around, saw phones trembling in palms, fear in people's eyes. She had to stop this right now. "You need to know," she said loudly. "My father is Justice Marcus Ellis, Chief Justice of the Wisconsin Supreme Court." Everything stopped. Holt's grip slackened. Keene paused mid-stride. "Justice Marcus Ellis?" Holt asked. "I'm calling him now," she replied. "I suggest you prepare your explanation." She dialed. As the phone rang, the officers scrambled to uncuff her. "No harm done, ma'am," Holt stammered. "Just a misunderstanding." Keene approached witnesses again. "This footage is part of a confidential investigation. Delete it now." Naomi's voice, as she spoke to her father, was calm, clinical. "Yes, in Wilburn Park. They lifted my skirt in public. I'm filing a formal complaint." Her father's response was brief. "Badge numbers." Minutes later, the officers retreated to their cruiser. Naomi stood tall in the park, still shaken, but aware she just crossed a line she couldn't uncross. That night, Chief Justice Marcus Ellis arrived at the park with the police commissioner, who looked pale and visibly uncomfortable. "This matter will be addressed seriously," the commissioner said. "Officers Holt and Keene have been suspended with pay, pending investigation." But Naomi saw the commissioner's eyes dart. He wasn't sorry. He was strategic. The next morning, she sat across from Internal Affairs investigator Darren McAllister. The sterile office glowed under institutional lighting. "Tell me what happened again," he said, notepad ready. She did, clearly, accurately. But when she described the skirt incident, McAllister paused. "What were you wearing exactly?" Naomi stared at him. "A blouse and a knee-length skirt. But my clothing is irrelevant." Just establishing facts, he murmured. She mentioned the bystanders recording. He nodded. We collected their phones. I'd like to see the footage. McAllister looked grim. They're corrupted. All of them. Days passed. Naomi contacted witnesses. Several admitted internal affairs, had questioned them aggressively. They told me maybe I misremembered. One woman confessed. Said you were hostile. But that's not what I saw. Eventually, a letter arrived. No evidence of misconduct. Officers reinstated. Naomi stormed into McAllister's office. This is absurd. You're protecting them. He wouldn't meet her eyes. And that's when Naomi saw it. A plaque on his desk. Detective Darren McAllister, 20 years, 5th Precinct. She blinked. You served with Holt, didn't you? He stood. This interview is over. That night, Naomi called her father. The system isn't broken. It's working exactly as it's meant to. I agree, he replied. But there's one more thing we can do. Naomi didn't wait. She filed a federal civil rights lawsuit. And she called the press. This isn't about one woman. It's about how power protects power. She met with Kendra Lawson, a civil rights attorney known for courtroom wins and unflinching resolve. You've got a case, Kendra said. Fourth Amendment. Equal protection. We're suing Holt, Keene, their supervisor, the commissioner, and the city of Milwaukee. They filed, but the case landed before Judge Bruce Alton, former prosecutor, known ally of police unions. We'll move to have him recused, Kendra said. Denied. At the next hearing, Naomi arrived to find her apartment had been ransacked. Files scattered. Laptop, iPad. Her car was keyed with slurs. Her father's home was surveilled. Soon after, he was accused of judicial misconduct. Anonymous complaints flooded in, claiming he had improperly intervened. Then came a stroke. Not fatal but enough to sideline a giant. Naomi visited the hospital. Dad, I'm ending it. I won't let them destroy you. He grasped her hand weakly. Don't you dare. Justice doesn't back down. And she didn't. But they escalated. A 4 a.m. raid. Officers in SWAT gear. Hands on your head. Holt and Keene led the charge. They found cocaine in her bathroom cabinet. At booking, they violated every protocol. Holt ripped her shirt. Keene took her mugshot. The photos were everywhere by noon. Hypocritical law professor found with drugs. No mention of her lawsuit. She was denied a phone call for 12 hours. Finally, she reached Elijah Carter, a young public defender. They framed you, he said. I'll prove it. But the bail hearing was a farce. Judge Alton again. $50,000 bail. An ankle monitor. Her teaching job suspended. The pressure was unbearable. She considered taking a plea. Then Elijah showed her the folder. 7 people, he said. All had filed complaints. All framed by Holt and Keene. The final crack came from an anonymous Taipan unmarked package with a USB. Inside, communications from police officials detailing her arrest. How to plant the drugs. When a leak, the mugshot. I still believe in the oath, read the note. Elijah introduced her to Sierra Kim, a digital forensics expert. We'll build a kill-proof archive, Sierra said. Redundant servers. Blockchain stamps. They can't erase this. They recovered deleted videos. One clearly showed Holt lifting her skirt. They found metadata on supposedly off body cameras. They infiltrated the department's network with credentials sent by another whistleblower. The floodgates opened. At 9 a.m. On a Monday, the files dropped. 17 news outlets. DOJ. Civil Rights Division. Naomi's story uncut projected onto Milwaukee Police HQ. Cunningham and Keene were arrested trying to flee. The DOJ arrived. The police chief resigned. The city council authorized sweeping reforms. Naomi stood before the legislature. This isn't just misconduct. It's a system. The Ellis Civil Rights Act passed. Real oversight. Independent prosecutors. Limited qualified immunity. Northwestern reinstated Naomi. Students lined the halls cheering. Her constitutional law course filled in hours. But justice wasn't complete. Reforms were gutted in committee. Cosmetic changes replaced real ones. The DA gave Holt and Keene plea deals. Noyal, the city offered Naomi $1.2 million for silence. I'm declining, she said. No amount of money buys my silence. Instead, she launched a legal clinic, the Center for Police Accountability and Community Justice Training Oversight Boards, developing better policing models and building a new legacy. Her father, recovered and reappointed, ruled in landmark cases. Sierra's digital platform tracked officer complaints in real time. Naomi trained a generation of watchdogs. On the one-year anniversary of the incident, Naomi walked through Wilburn Park. She watched two officers approach a young black woman. Polite, respectful, they kept their distance. She nodded. No, it wasn't utopia, but it was a start. And sometimes, a start was enough to change everything.